The Ministry of Health has recently announced some changes to integrated shield plan riders to help manage rising insurance premiums and private healthcare costs. Since the announcement, we have been receiving a lot of questions about what's changing and what should you do next. So today, I have here with me our master trainer, Felicia, who will share with you what are the changes about and how should you react to the recent changes in the integrated shield plan rider. Over to you, Felicia.
Thank you, Hui Jing. Before I start, an important disclaimer. So whatever I share today is for your information as well as for education purpose. Please do not go out there and make any financial decisions without first consulting your financial advisor. Now, so what is integrated shield plan and rider? To begin, we have to first of all understand what is a MediShield Life. So MediShield Life is our national healthcare scheme that is mandatory for all Singaporeans. It has a claim limit that is sized to be able to cover the bill size of a subsidized ward in a B2 or C class ward in the public hospital. Now, so the claim limit is very low. So if you were to stay in a higher ward like B1 or a private hospital, then this amount will not be sufficient. So a MediShield Life alone will not be enough. So insurance company has offered another layer of private insurance which is able to cover the bigger bill size of these private wards. So together, these two portions add together is what we call the integrated shield plan. However, for integrated shield plan is similar to MediShield Life. They don't cover you from the first dollar. There will be a layer called a deductible and co-insurance that you have to pay first before the insurance kicks in. So that's why insurance company over the years have offered another product called the IP rider to help people pay for this deductible as well as to co-pay part of the co-insurance for you. Now, over the years, your IP rider will just keep going up. Alright, and the rate has increased, can even be faster than your integrated shield plan. But people would still hold on to the rider because the purpose of this rider is to help lower their out-of-pocket costs, and it's optional and covers expenses that is beyond what integrated shield plan can cover. But the premium is fully paid by cash. So when the premium keeps going up, that's where people feel that it's no longer affordable moving forward. So you hear me mentioning a lot about paying the deductible and co-insurance. So what exactly is deductible and co-insurance? So deductible is an initial fixed amount that you have to pay before the insurance coverage kicks in. So it's just like your entry fee. And for co-insurance is a percentage, usually up to 10% of the cost that you have to pay, co-pay with your insurance company before the deductible, after the deductible is met. Now imagine this is your bill size. So that means you pay the first layer of deductible, which will then depending on your ward class. If you are staying in a private or A ward, then your deductible will be 3,500. But let's say for a subsidized ward, then your deductible can be as low as 1,500. So after this, then the balance bill, you co-pay another 10%. Alright, then so you pay the co-insurance as well as deductible, and then the balance will be paid by your integrated shield provider. Now, if you were to claim more than once in the same policy year, for subsequent bills, you only need to pay the co-insurance. The deductible is only applied once a year, but the co-insurance will be applied for every bill. So what is the difference between having a rider and not having a rider? Now let's look at an example of a hospital bill that says about $50,000. Now, if you have an IP without a rider, then and you stay in an A ward and your deductible is 3,500, meaning to say you have to pay this 3,500. At the same time, you have to pay another 10% of the remaining bill, which adds up to be $4,650. Means in total, your bill you have for this $50,000 bill, you have to pay $8,150, and then your integrated shield will pay the balance, which is $41,850. So what is the difference if you have a rider? If you have a rider, then you will only need to co-pay 5% of the total bill, which is 2,500. So you can see that your amount that you are paying has substantially reduced from $8,150 to 2,500. The IP will still pay the same, okay, the amount after co-insurance and deductible, and the rider will pay the balance, which is 5,650. Now, IP, the rider gets more and more expensive because if you look at the example of a smaller bill size, say $8,000, and if you do not have a rider, you will still have to pay the deductible of 3,500. At the same time, another 10% of the co-insurance. So if you add up, you are almost paying about 50% of this bill. Whereas, let's say if you have a rider, you are only paying 5%, which is $400. And your rider will actually be paying the most of it. That means a deductible of 3,500 and another 5 and the balance 5% of that co-payment. So what is this new rider going to be like? Okay, now for the new rider next year, they will not be able to cover, they are not allowed to cover your deductible. So deductible you have to pay. At the same time, the co-insurance limit will also increase to $6,000. Currently, the rider co-insurance is capped at $3,000, but come next year for the new rider, you'll be capped at $6,000. So starting from April next year, they will remove the old existing rider, and all the insurance will only be launching the new riders. So currently, if you were to buy a rider, you are still buying the existing rider, but you will be transitioned to the new rider by 1st of April 2028. So how would a claim look like with the new rider? So same, okay, let's look at the bill size of 50,000. Now the patient, you will have to pay more because you have to pay the deductible of 3,500 and another 5%, co-pay another 5% of remaining bill. So that adds up to $5,825. Integration plan will still pay the same amount, which is the amount after deductible and co-insurance. So now you see that the rider is actually paying a much smaller amount, which is just 5% of the remaining bill. So what should you do with this new rider? Now, if you already have a rider that you bought before 27th of November, then I suggest you don't do anything yet. Okay, you'll still get to enjoy the benefits of the current existing rider. However, this might change. Okay, it depends, subject to what the insurance company decide. There's no guarantee that you will remain the same. Or you can also switch to a new rider without any medical underwriting. And at the same time, you enjoy a lower premium. But let's say if you do not have a rider, then you may want to consider whether do you actually need a rider. So you can choose to buy a rider now, but not to forget that this rider will only give you that over these 2 years, a temporary coverage of the wider benefits, because by 1st of April 2028, you'll still be transitioned to the new rider. Or you can just not do anything yet, but just wait until next year when all the new riders have been launched, and then you can actually compare which will be a better rider for you. To consider whether do you actually need a rider, these are the few things that you can look at it. Number one is your existing health condition. Are you still healthy, or do you have any existing medical conditions? Have you claimed before? How often have you made a claim? And other than covering deductible and co-insurance, the rider also offers other benefits. So what are these benefits? Are they of value to you? So these are all some of the considerations. And in terms of affordability, premium will just keep going up. And this rider premium is paid fully using cash. All right. So if you switch your new rider, yes, you do get to pay a lower premium, but you will actually have to also pay a higher out-of-pocket for deductible and co-insurance. Now, if this rider is deemed to be important to you, then you may want to look into your budget to see whether can you cut down your expenses in other areas so that you have the finances to pay for this rider. And finally, are you willing to pay? There are many people who have downgraded or removed their integrated shield plan totally because they feel that they've been paying for 10, 20 years and they have not even made a claim. So they felt that, wow, for 20 years, why am I paying tens of thousands of dollars of premium when I don't get to pay? So whether are you willing to be in that position to pay when, if you are still healthy, you may not actually be needing a integrated shield plan. All right, these are some of the questions that you may want to ask your financial advisor when the new rider is ready. Okay, first of all, if you're going to switch from the existing rider to the new rider where the premium is lower, you may want to ask whether do you actually get any premium refund for the existing rider for the unused part of the premium. Okay, and number two, compare exactly how much premium are you saving. Is it worth the switch? All right, and finally, your rider may come with other benefits. So are these benefits going to remain the same, or are there going to be any changes to it as well? So in conclusion, you have time. Do not rush in to make any decisions now, all right, but wait for the new rider to see and make a decision yourself.
Thank you, Felicia, for the detailed sharing. As mentioned earlier, since the start of the announcement, we have received a lot of questions from Money Hour followers. And here are 3 top burning questions from our followers. The first question, with the introduction of integrated shield plan changes, will my current coverage, including a deductible waiver and minimal 5% co-payment, remain the same? Or will the insurer eventually require me to switch to the new rider design? Felicia, what do you think?
So far, there are no insurance company actually made any announcements, so I believe they're still reviewing the plan or what to do next. So there's no guarantee that they will still be keeping the existing rider. So I suggest those who already have the rider, just hang on to it first and wait for the next announcement.
Okay, so don't rush into a decision like what you have mentioned just now.
Yes.
The second question, considering that integrated shield plan and rider premiums increase as you age, and could exceed $10,000 when I'm in my 70s. Would it make sense for me to downgrade my plan now to lower my premiums?
Okay, there are 3 things that you actually need to remember. Firstly, once you downgrade, you cannot move up again, all right, because your health condition may not allow you to do that as well. All right, and number 2, what is your current health conditions again? Do you have already any chronic conditions? And because if you do have known or unknown, if you switch, it's considered as existing condition and the new insurer may not cover it, all right? And finally, what is your healthcare expectation? If you are one that that you have to stay in like a private hospital or a single bedded ward, then you will have to have a higher integrated shield plan, or you don't mind actually staying in a B1 ward where you have like four other neighbors to keep you company. Then if you don't mind that setting, sharing there's one toilet, then you can actually move down to a B1 plan, which the premium is a lot lower actually.
Okay, so really depends on these 3 key points.
Yes.
So the last question is, my insurance agent is recommending that I switch to a different integrated shield plan provider because they offer lower premiums for the same coverage. So should I actually consider the switch? What do you think, Felicia?
It's actually a big no if you ask me. Okay.
Really?
Yes. First of all, like what I mentioned just now, you may have certain conditions that you're not aware of. So when you switch and eventually when you file a claim, it may be deemed as an existing condition that you didn't declare. All right. So they may not cover that new condition. All right. And number 2 is that we should not be comparing a shield plan based on just premium alone, because no shield plans are identical. All right, the benefits may be the same, but the quantum may be different. So you have to look at the benefits and see which one is the most important to you. Let's say, for example, for me, it will be the pre and post. So I want my shield plan to have a longer duration for the pre and post hospitalization. So I won't just look at the premium alone. And then finally, premium is not guaranteed. So for this current age band, insurer A could be giving me the lowest premium and I switch over. But you'll never know, in my next age band, it could be the highest as well.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of uncertainty as far as premium is concerned. You will never know who will be the cheapest at every age band or who will be the most expensive.
And Felicia, maybe you can clarify a bit about the pre and post hospitalization. What does that mean? What's pre, what's post?
Okay, pre means that before you seek treatment, usually you have to go and see your doctors. So 3 months before you are admitted for your treatment, that bill is actually covered by integrated shield.
Oh, okay.
Right,
so it's claimable.
Yes, it's claimable. So that is what we call the pre-hospitalization bill. Then upon discharge, there will be the post-hospitalization. Because most people, when you discharge, you will have to go back for a review.
Okay.
So that duration is what we call the post-hospitalization. So some insurance company for post-hospitalization will cover only 180 days.
Okay.
All right, some will cover 365 days.
Oh, so up to a year.
Up to a year.
Okay.
So it depends on what you feel is a comfortable duration. I mean, for me, it's the longer the better, right? Okay.
So if it's the longer, that
Yeah.
means you have to pay slightly higher premiums.
Maybe, not necessarily always so. That's why I don't really like compare on premium and say that, okay, company A, is this premium, and then company B is that premium. All right, I will just look at, okay, the benefits first. When you buy an insurance policy, it's for the benefits. You see, so you pay for what you want,
Of
or
course,
pay for
yeah.
what you need
Yeah.
as well.
Correct. Okay, thank you. We hope the sharing today has been informative. So, if you are actually wondering if you already have an integrated shield plan, you can log into the healthcare dashboard on CPF board website via SingPass to view your coverage status under health insurance. That's stated in the screen on the left. And like what Felicia mentioned, there's no one size fits all, there's no identical plan. So to find out if your insurance that you have right now in terms of health insurance fits what you need in terms of your financial coverage, do look out to the new tool under the CPF website, Health Insurance Planner, whereby you can get tailored projections, see how your projected Medisave balance and insurance premiums will change over time, and compare key benefits across different integrated shield plans. So, this comes to the end of our sharing today. We hope it has been informative, and thank you very much. Do follow us for more bite-sized information about financial tips that will help you along the way.